I came over it like a hill. And you can see that in my store too. Like that's when my stuff started actually looking kind of nice.
Mm-hmm.
And from there on, people really started liking stuff that I did. And yeah, that's kind of where I'm at today. It's just been like a long road for 3.5 years of just testing and testing and testing and trying out, seeing what sticks and everything. So 3.5 years to become a mediocre avatar creator is a lot of time investment for very little. But I think it's fun. It's challenging. It's mental stimulation. So I don't really do it for money. I just do it because it's interesting. I find it fun.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Sweet Talking Podcast with your host, Nefertiti. And I believe this is episode 39. And we are in a special location. We'll be getting into what this location is later into the podcast. So if you want to find out what this place is and what it's all about, you definitely want to tune in to this episode. But before we get started tonight, and before we learn more about our guest tonight from CrunchyFrajs, we're going to go ahead and thank my supporters. Those of you who have been supporting me on Patreon, whether you're at the lowest tier or whether you're at the highest tier, it doesn't matter. Every little bit helps, and I'm so grateful to all of my Patreon supporters. So please check me out on patreon.com/Nefertiti if you'd like to learn more about some exclusive rewards that we have there for you. And of course, you can always just subscribe here, like the video, and leave a comment if something resonates with you as we get into the interview tonight. But I want to thank all of you, whether you're on YouTube or you're on Twitch, whether you're on Patreon or all three. I want to thank you very much for your support tonight. And now we're going to go ahead and get into tonight's podcast. So as I said, I'm joined this evening by a lovely individual who I've had the chance to talk to, like, off and on, here and there. We've had a couple of conversations in passing. And it's been very interesting. I've very much been enjoying how their brain works. So I'm looking to get to know CrunchyFrajs, my guest, for episode 39. So thank you so much for joining me, Frajs. I appreciate that.
Hello.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Mm-hmm.
So basically, yeah, how we got to know each other, essentially, I like to do like a little bit of like kind of an icebreaker to kind of like, even things out, before we get into things. But basically, I found you like early, like the beginning of this year. I was looking at, I was just actually starting to look through some new avatar creators, and I happened upon your work, and I'm like, wow. No avatar creators are creating girls with suits or girls that wear like nice like dressy tops or formal tops. And I'm like, I definitely could use this, and I would definitely like to wear this for future episodes. So basically, I picked it up, picked up Chanel, which is specifically built for like it's a green rated Avi, which is a good rated Avi in VRChat terms, which means it's not going to inadvertently crash anybody. It's very light lift.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I decided to start using her because mainly because of her outfit, to be real. She's also very cute. She has nice freckles and stuff. So yeah, she is a cutie.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like Chanel is really the reason why I happened upon you in the first place, and then like eventually I got your attention. Thank goodness for that. I was hoping that I was hoping that I eventually would catch your eye, that I was using your Abby and blah 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 blah. And then you reached out and we started talking, and that's how we actually ended up doing this. So thank you so much.
Yeah. I think that goes both ways. Thank you for being allowed to come here too. It's not something that I do very often, or it's actually not something that I've done before at all. So yeah.
Really?
It's,
okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, hey, first time for everything. So I'm glad that
for sure.
Yeah. I'm glad that I could have you on and that you can join us for tonight's episode. So, so as we kind of jump into things, I like to start at the very, very beginning. I like to kind of like start things off very, very easygoing with my guests. So we'll start very, very simply. What are your pronouns, by the way?
Oh, I'm very simple. I'm he, him. I might have big boobs and stuff, but I'm in reality just very, very simple. Like just a guy who just enjoys hanging out in VRChat and making friends. So,
Nice.
yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Great. I always have to ask just to be sure. You never really know in this kind of in this atmosphere. You know, VRChat can be very, very nebulous when it comes to gender representation. But you know, there's
Yeah.
plenty of it. That is to be sure. There's plenty of gender representation in VRChat for sure. So always gotta be sure. Just gotta ask. You know.
That's especially true for VRChat, I feel. Oh yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And so now that we've kind of covered that base, can you tell us a little bit about yourself? Like, who is CrunchyFrajs? And be as detailed as you'd like to be. Let us know who you are.
I am well, some people are gonna be a little bit shocked by this, I guess. But yeah, I'm a 37-year-old systems engineer who works for a telecom company in Norway. And I come from like the south of Norway. And what I generally do is very like meticulous work, and then that ties in really well with avatars and stuff. It's very like meticulous work that too. And then of course I like seeing people make use of VR technologies, so of course I have to make use of that too. So I like dancing a little bit and such. So
Okay, so
maybe that was enough of an intro. I don't know.
I mean honestly that's plenty. I mean that was very, very specific, and I can appreciate that. So 37-year-old systems engineer. So basically you needed something else to kind of stimulate your creativity. You needed something else that took meticulous work to do, so you decided to start making abbies.
Yeah, it like scratches the same kind of itch as what I do at work usually. So that's probably why I enjoy it so much, because it's just creative fiddling with things for hours and hours and months at a time, and then something beautiful comes out the other end.
Gotcha.
Well, hopefully beautiful.
Oh yeah. I mean, I would agree. I mean, your Abby designs. I mean, including the one that I'm wearing, which is, you know, I think you have a very distinctive style. Mainly in the aspects of like the tattoo work. I do want to talk a lot about like your avatar creation and the details and stuff like that later on, but just kind of on the surface level of it for now, you do have a very kind of distinct style, very much with like your tattoo choice, like how you what eyes you choose, how I'm assuming there's also some body sculpting involved, maybe some facial sculpting involved, maybe. But again, we'll get into that. But like it's a very kind of it's a very distinctive kind of very what's the word, flamboyant type style. It's very attention grabbing for various reasons. So I'm sure you're aware.
It is most of the designs are very like intentional. Almost every single aspect of what you see is intentional, so yes.
Okay.
For sure.
Gotcha. You know, I'm still trying to like deal with this collar that I can't take off. I'm kind of upset that you're making me wear this. But hey, you know, I know.
Yeah.
I know you're wearing one too, so you know it's not like, you know, I'm by myself.
Yeah. I think that boils down to something that I forgot to do, rather than intentionally forcing you to do it. But yeah.
all right. And I had to point that out, you know. But it's all right. It's all right. Like I'm a fan. I've been enjoying your work, and yeah, like especially I've been really liking I've been liking, oh gosh, what's her name? Julia. Yeah, she surprisingly has grown on me, and a lot of people like her too. That I've worn her around. People tend to really like her too. So, yeah, really great work there. I'll talk to you more about like why I love Julia so much later on. But we're talking about you right now. So let's get back to that. So how did you come up with the name CrunchyFrajs?
Oh, it has a very dumb history. But I guess we can go through that. It's initially, I was a very big World of Warcraft player, like many years ago.
You and everyone else.
I think I quit.
Except for me.
But... Yeah, I played very many years, and my name was initially it was Frajs, as an American would normally spell it.
Okay.
But it was always taken, you know. It's changing servers and stuff in World of Warcraft is pretty common. So I just did a phonetic name instead, the way that it is pronounced instead of how it's spelled.
Right.
So I spelled it how it's pronounced, and then later on I had a period in VRChat where I was making content that was a little bit more for grown-ups, I would say.
Okay.
And what is very normal for those kinds of creators are that they kind of give themselves a different kind of name.
Stage names. I know. I'm familiar.
So
I'm an actor. I'm familiar.
Yeah, and that was Crunchy, and so whenever I started making avatars, I combined the two. Yeah, so it's a little bit of a dumb kind of story, but that's kind of where it's from. Yeah.
It's not. That's not dumb. That's not dumb. I think most creative names come from just general life experiences. It usually stems from like a personal experience or something that a person was connected to when they were younger, and either they just kind of stuck with it, or they've evolved it as they've gotten older. So, yeah, it's definitely not dumb. I think it's pretty common, to be real. But I guess like
true,
maybe you're just kind of instinctively kind of downplaying it, but yeah, you know. But yeah,
I think I do that a lot too. So yeah, you're probably right on.
Yeah, I can understand that. I downplay myself a lot too. You know, people say, "Nuff, you're so cute." I'm like, have you looked at me lately? I'm not cute. So, but yeah, you know, but I get it. All right, cool. So that makes sense. You have to remind me to ask you about the other the not for kids content. We can talk about that on the post content. Yeah.
Sure.
All right. So how did you come up with I guess your avatar design? Obviously it was designed by you. Obviously this is a custom build by yourself. So how did you come up with this particular design, and how did it come to be, like your general look?
Are you thinking about this one, or just like
this one
models in general?
Yours, like just
this one.
This one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So first and foremost is like the skin was something that I always thought about, because like everyone has, well, not everyone, but 90+% of VRChat has a normal skin color, like much like yourself. And I wanted something that was unique. So I was thinking like, okay, what about black? But no, that's kind of like not actually that uncommon either, or any like other color, but like white is kind of nice because it allows for nice shading.
Mm-hmm.
Where you can like highlight all the little curves on the body and stuff very nicely.
Right.
And once I started decorating it with all the gold and stuff, I always had a weakness for gold.
I couldn't tell.
Then it kind of came together
Mm-hmm.
slowly but surely, and then yeah, it turned out into this. And then my white hair mixed with the red and blue eyes represents the colors of the Norwegian flag, which is red, white, and blue.
Oh, okay. So repping the nation. Hell yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then later on, I found out there's a lot of countries that have red and white and blue.
Yeah.
So maybe that's not
Yeah.
very significant. So,
Actually true.
you know,
Yeah. I kind of know about that, being from America and all that. Yeah. It's
yeah. So it was very short-sighted, but you know, shit happens.
Yeah, but hey, it still works. It still works. Like I highly doubt that people like are gonna like listen to you talk and be like, oh yeah, you're repping America. Because like we can tell we can tell you have a bit of an accent, which is perfectly fine. Like you speak English just fine. Like, but there's definitely like a European-ish accent wrapped up in your speech, and that's just because you're from Norway, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So I feel like I don't have a typical Norwegian accent, but a Norwegian would probably be able to tell. But most people from like other places have troubles finding out where I'm actually from based on the dialect. But yeah.
So how do you how have you lived in Norway your entire life? I assume, and not sound like every other Norwegian. How did that come about?
I think that is very much to blame on World of Warcraft yet again.
Oh, okay.
Online presence, and eventually you spend most of your time on the internet speaking more English than your native language,
Of course.
which makes you pretty well practiced in English. Of course, I speak better Norwegian than English. But yeah, pretty well. Of course, some limitations, but most of the time, people can understand what I mean. Yeah.
Oh yeah. What like I haven't had a trouble understanding you at all. So what you're saying is you've just been listening to a bunch of silly Americans talk in your ear for years, and then you just kind of learned how to talk like them, while also having the accent.
Yes. So also having conversations with them in English also helps a lot because good practice,
Yeah.
More practice makes master.
True. It does. Yeah. So how did you if I'm assuming Norwegian was your first language.
Yes.
So I know English is like the de facto world language in most cases. Like basically for business anywhere in the world you need to know English. So I guess how did you come around to learning English? And I'm assuming it's from World of Warcraft. I mean, you can attribute most things to like your history and your lifestyle as a youth. But yeah, I guess how did you get so proficient at English? Did you teach yourself? Were you taught it in school? Where did that come from?
It's English is mandatory in Norway, so you have to know English before you finish. I don't know, elementary school or whatever the American equivalent is. And I was a pretty quick learner when I was a kid. I picked it up really fast. So within the first couple of years, I knew how to say sentences and stuff very easily and have a conversation in English. I didn't have the fluidness that I have today, but that came with practice later on. Yeah. So it's a mix of that, and then American culture is very present in Norway as well. I think
Really?
it's because we're all like Western countries. Yeah.
Mm.
So, like TV shows and stuff that you see in America are often also on TV in Norway.
Huh.
In addition to our local ones, of course.
Right. Okay.
So.
Okay.
Mm.
What type of which form of entertainment do you prefer more, American or Norwegian?
Oh, 100% American. Norwegian is terrible. It's awful.
Why?
I mean, some of it is charming. I don't know if you know about the Elvis brothers. What does the fox say and stuff like. Those are
Okay,
pretty
yeah.
funny.
Okay,
So
okay.
there are sometimes you get those like one-hit wonders kind of deal personalities.
Like, what does the
But
fox
it's
say?
very far and few between. Yeah.
That was pretty
Like,
one-hit wonder, yeah.
Those two were like one of very few people in Norway who can manage to make like a funny show. So it takes a long time before you find someone who can like make an equally funny thing again. Whilst in America, where you're like 300 million people, I don't know how many there are.
There are a lot of people here. Like 300
Um,
million sounds pretty close, I would say, in this country.
Yeah. So it's a lot bigger chance for you to find someone funny than in a country with 5 million.
Mm.
That's my thoughts about it anyway. I think that's kind of why.
Okay. I mean, that's perfectly fair.
Mm.
Yeah, just like you have more exposure to cultures that are just, to a culture that's I guess a little bit more out of their minds, a little bit less conventional than the average generally European countries overall. I'm sure, but we I mean, but in that regard, Americans, we have our issues. We have a we're showing our issues in almost real time. If anyone has been watching the news as of late, or watching American news as of late, at the time of this recording, there's some fucking wild ass shit happening here. For just dumbest reason. Well, it's not. I guess it's not a dumb reason, but it's so unnecessary. It's so extra, and I don't know. For those who know what I'm talking about, I'm not gonna get into the details about it. But if you know what I'm talking about, if you know, you know. But like, do you know what I'm talking about, Frajs? Have you heard?
I'm not
100%
100% sure.
Okay.
Because I kind of started to dismiss news eventually.
Fair.
There's so much random things going on, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna see if it becomes like a super big thing. I might know about it, but yeah, the newest breaking news, I probably haven't really heard about it.
Okay, no problem. And you know what that tells me? That tells me that what's going on here isn't really that important at all. And that like it's that much dumber. Again, like what's going on, like it's I don't want to say it's dumb, but I want to say it's so much, and it doesn't have to be that, because it's having to do with things that has nothing to do with the U.S. at all, but it's causing so much conflict and so much like unnecessary bullshit that's been going on as of late. But I can appreciate that, and that's good. That's good that it hasn't reached Norway. You all have remained safe from just. I feel that intelligence is on a significant decline, and not just intelligence, but a sense of meaning. People are searching for this sense of meaning in their lives, and I think it's very, very difficult for young people to find it these days when you're basically living in essentially essentially you're living in a free country, essentially, say whatever you want about America, but like it's very much a fucking free country, and we're very fortunate to live where we live. But people just take advantage of that.
Yeah.
So.
It's well, I mean, we definitely have our special individuals as well, but I think judging by our small base of or amount of people, there's just less in total.
Yeah.
So you guys have just more people, so it's bound to be more. So yeah.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I mean, there are definitely people who need direction, in every country. So I think yeah, we're definitely lacking in direction here, in the U.S. A lot of young people have issues. But anyway, not saying that I'm not a young person, 'cause I'm pretty young, I would say. But you know, I think people just need to find a sense of meaning, and I do my best to kind of direct people towards, just seeking out the thing that they can do really, really well. And we'll be talking about the thing that you can do really, really well, very, very soon.
Yeah.
Well, the things that you can do pretty well. We'll be talking about that in just a little bit. But for now, we're gonna jump into your VRChat history. We're gonna jump into that and see how that all came about. So, so can you tell us a little bit about that? A little bit. How did you discover VRChat?
It was originally, I think, I came into it the same way as very many other people, because I saw their little red guys.
Knuckles?
Yes, the Knuckles. They were like all over YouTube.
Yeah.
Back in 2018.
I know D-Way.
And at the time, I came over like a HTC Vive headset for very cheap. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna buy this and just test it out, And I tried it for a little while. I wasn't really the biggest fan. So I sold my headset and I didn't touch VRChat for the longest time. So I played it for like 2-3 months maybe.
Back in 2017?
And then I quit. 18, but
18, okay.
And then we all know what started happening in 2020,
Yeah.
I moved across the country at the start of 2020. And that was in February. And yeah, March hit. Boom, everybody
lockdown.
Gotta stay on their own.
Yeah.
So moving across the country and then being locked down is kind of a bad combo.
Yeah.
So that led me to pick up a VR headset eventually, and then I started playing VRChat a little bit, and I thought it was really cool. So I just kept doing it. I love the interactions and all this stuff. So 4,000 or 5,000 hours, I don't even know anymore. I'm still here.
Yeah.
So,
4 years later.
Yeah. That was crazy how fast the time actually flies.
Yeah, it only seems fast when we look back. When we're kind of looking forward, time seems to be just kind of like this ever flowing stream. But then when we look back and we see how long it's actually been, it's just wow. That happens to me too. Just kind of looking back at starting the podcast and everything. It's just I've been doing this for a while, and for whatever reason, it's it's sticking, and I'm very, very grateful for that. But yeah, I definitely get what you mean there with just racking up the hours, just truly enjoying something in a significant way. I think it's really magical to find something that really jives with you and really kind of resonates with you, and you find yourself just naturally wanting to engage with it,
Yeah, for sure. It's like when you find something that you really like a lot, you tend to just stick with it. That's probably how a lot of people ended up playing World of Warcraft for so long. You know? So it's kind of the same thing. I feel like in a different setting, of course, but it's very similar.
Yeah. So you said that you didn't originally like VRChat in 2018. What changed between 2018 and 2020?
Oh, it's COVID, I would say.
Just COVID? Really? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
COVID, and then other things related to it. The fact that I had just moved somewhere else. So I didn't have any friends here, right? And my only friends that I had was on the other side of the country. So you gravitate towards the places that you can get some social interaction eventually, right?
Mm.
So, and since I remember VRChat being so social, I started looking at VRChat videos on YouTube, and then I saw people like Ruffle Gator, Firefox Blue, Airy, all these like mute streamers, for example.
Mm-hmm.
And I became like so like very like obsessed by it. I thought it was like, oh, it's totally different now compared to when I did it the last time. So much has changed, So that made me very like interested,
Mm-hmm.
and then led me to take the plunge and then just buy trackers and a headset and just go for it. Because I really liked seeing people dance and stuff when I was watching YouTube and the videos and stuff. So yeah.
Nice. So you're saying that So you're saying that your opinion essentially changed. Like you had a very kind of like when you first tried VRChat in 2018, you were essentially doing it by yourself. Is that right?
Yeah, completely alone.
Okay, so yeah, I would definitely say that like trying out VRChat by yourself is a much different experience than like doing it with a friend. Especially when you're first getting into it, because like it's very much it's a nebulous kind of concept, but it only feels nebulous because you're essentially throwing yourself into VR. So it feels nebulous because we're not attuned to VR. It's very similar to how having a smartphone didn't seem very natural when we first encountered them as a technology. So we have to get accustomed to it. We have to get used to and acclimated to being in this space. And so like we perceive things differently because our understanding of it isn't very keen as yet. It's still very early. Still very like it's still in its infancy. So we will perceive things as like, oh, like, well, what am I gonna do here? Like, oh, like this is like I'm supposed to be social, so I'm just supposed to go to a random ass world and deal with random ass people. And like did you have like a bad experience in 2018 that turned you off from it, or was it just like, oh, I'm not, I'm good IRL for now kind of thing?
I think in 2018, I feel like it was more like there wasn't really too much stuff that was exciting about it. I didn't know what people could do. I didn't like know all like the social circles that you could like find. It was very much the same way as if someone were to just dive into VRChat without having any idea what to do. They would probably go to a public lobby and they were just like, yeah, this sucks. That's basically the experience that I had back in 2018. But when I came back, I kind of had a hunch of where to go, and that helped me a lot. Like finding a lot more enjoyment and actually finding friends compared to what I did back then. So
basically by watching YouTube videos, you had a better sense of how to, I guess, encounter people, and I guess you had a sense of where you could go to potentially meet people in general.
Yeah.
Okay.
Streamers and YouTube. Yes.
Gotcha.
That was basically what led me here.
Yeah, it's I from the guests that I've had over the many months that I've been doing this, it's usually either a friend, or they saw a streamer, or they saw some other content creator on YouTube, like doing VRChat. So it's either like one of three things that typically occur that kind of draw people into VRChat, it's a very, very interesting, very, very, very interesting concept. And it's like the more I do these interviews, the more I get to see things from different perspectives and understand just how people are, I guess, interfacing, like at a macro scale, but at a semi-macro scale. Like the more guests I have, the more experiences I get to hear about. But it's typically one of those three things, which is really, really interesting to kind of discover just from doing this. So what was it about VRChat that made you stick around?
All the people, the lovely people. I was just like, man, all like this like super nice people. Of course, people come and go all the time in VRChat. That's like a thing that I just had to learn. But just looking forward to seeing someone in VR that you would never have the chance to meet
Otherwise.
And in another situation, it's just very appealing. Like, I would never have met you on the streets, right? And if I did, we would probably not talk. But since we have this in common, we just have an initial incentive to interact, you know. And then anything more than just us being in the same place is just like adds to the feeling of like, yeah, I could approach this person, you know.
Yeah.
And then the people are so sweet, you know. I love it.
Yeah. People, I do find that people, I think the majority of people in VRChat are pretty nice. They're pretty approachable in most cases. But I do kind of have to play devil's advocate here. I do have to do that because, you know, it's just what I do. So, you know, I do think that people generally are nice in VRChat, and I want to get your thoughts on this. I think people are generally very nice in VRChat because they're afraid of, I think, you know, it's kind of the idea of do unto, you know, the parable, like if you're familiar with the Bible, do unto others as you would have them do to you. And even if you don't know the Bible, I think most people know that saying, or they know like some variation of that statement. So I think people are generally nice because like they just want to be treated nice in return, because I think a lot of people in VRChat do suffer from, you know, things like social anxiety. They've been traumatized IRL, or even in VRChat in some shape or form, and they're trying to kind of pick up the pieces. If something happened to them in VRChat, they want to kind of like absolve themselves of that experience and just kind of be in VRChat as, you know, as a person who doesn't have to like engage in that sort of and that's those memories and those kinds of experiences, or they're just in general very socially awkward, and they've gone through something IRL, or they're just very introverted, and they're trying to maybe even work on themselves a little bit in VRChat to some degree. So I think that's why I think the majority of people in VRChat are pretty nice. But I think that they're just people who are just in general just very, very nice, conscientious people. I mean, so do you have any thoughts about that?
For sure. I feel like most people are inherently nice.
Yeah.
But of course, there are things that trigger them to do the opposite because of anonymity and stuff. But the people that do think about and have a little sliver of respect for other people,
it's all it
are
takes.
always gonna like treat other people nicely. So that's why I would say mostly, let's say 95% of your chat are people you can at least talk to, you know. And then again, of course, there's a large portion of it that are there for different reasons. But maybe one thing that I have noticed is that a lot of people use it as social practice as well.
Yes.
There are many people that are very like socially awkward in VRChat, and I don't like to bash on those people.
Of course, yeah.
I'm kind of socially awkward sometimes too, but with practice, you gain some mastery of it over time. So
one would hope.
It's well, yeah. So in most cases, it should work anyway.
Yeah. If it's something you are consciously working on, one would hope that, you know, with time, you'd gain the confidence to just be yourself. And this is something I talk about a lot, just in my content on my streams. This idea of, you know, getting understanding yourself and understanding the things that are, you know, kind of like aspects of yourself that are shortcomings, and work on those aspects of yourself so that you can carry on the things that you've learned in other social spaces, in this case VRChat, and you can carry that into IRL so that you can actually take the things that you've learned here and apply them out into the real world, because they still work, because like we're still like, it's not like we're talking to aliens here in VRChat, we're talking to just other people. So like the same thing, the same ways that you would interact with someone in VRChat, for the most part you can replicate IRL. but that's only if you're consciously trying to improve yourself. So I'm definitely in for that, and I definitely see there are many benefits, like you mentioned, about working on oneself in VRChat and improving in their ability to be social creatures, and to I guess be more confident in who they are and not be ashamed of who they are as a person. So I think that's very, very important. Yeah, I agree. So
it's good for people with practice on themselves, regardless of what it is.
100%. Always be seeking to improve. Yeah. So with that in mind, can you mention? Do you have maybe one thing about VRChat that you would like to improve, and one thing that you appreciate about VRChat? And it can't be the community, because you already said that. You already said that your reason for staying is the people. So it has to be something completely different. One thing you wish you could improve, one thing that you appreciate.
Good question. One thing that I would like it to improve would probably be, let's see. It would be more of a technical thing, but the creation of new stuff, I would hope for the developer team to make tools to make it easier to do. Because right now, it's reserved for people who sit down and actually devote a lot of time. So if they made tools that were like official, that made it easier, that would be nice. But then more people can do cool stuff, you know. Well, now you basically almost need a degree to do it.
So closing the gap, closing the skill gap of what is necessary to create content like that.
Yes, I think personal avatars are, and personal content in general, but avatars are like one of the biggest in VRChat. But personal avatars are like so cool. It's cool when you can buy something on a store, but seeing something that someone has set up themselves is what I just like. Whoa, I love that. Like, show me more. I get super excited whenever I see something that I've never seen before. So it's very cool to see like people's creativity and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So
what was the other thing?
We'll get to that in just a second. I do want to keep talking about the improvement that you mentioned, but yeah, I'll ask the second part of the question in just a bit. But yeah, like so I mean, there is technically the SDK, as a existing tool. I mean, it doesn't exactly like I mean, it does simplify things in a way, but so are you looking for something that's a little bit, I guess, a little bit along those lines, but just, I guess that makes the process of editing avatars, or I guess making your own avatar a little bit more straightforward, since most of it has to be done, well, you have to basically piece the entire thing together in Unity, but you're also having to make use of other programs like Blender and such. So like, is there like a way to, I guess, simplify that process directly through the developers themselves, given the necessity of learning other applications and such?
Yes, they could do something like that, but it's like, my thoughts on this is like, all right, let's see. If you want to have something like an easy way to make a toggle for turning your jacket off and on, most people don't know how to do that. Of course, there are community tools made by the community, but these are not supplied by the developers. Like, the community is doing the heavy lifting here, and having like the basic things supplied by the developers, and then the community can make advanced versions of it. I feel like that would be nice. But right now, the community is doing basically all of that work of making it simple. So you have to know where to look, because you don't get it from VRChat. And that's what I would like to see. So more people could be able to do at least the simple things,
Okay. So for example, you'd want VRChat's developers to make like a video of how to make a toggle, for example. Something like that?
No, what I was thinking more would be that it would be part of the SDK, like a
Oh,
thing, a
okay.
feature where you can like if you wanted to remove your collar, for example, you would be easily able to set that up in the SDK.
Ah, okay. So just a better, a more robust version of the SDK that allows for very kind of um, user-friendly tools that allows even a newcomer to Unity to be able to understand how to, just with just I guess with a little bit of reading. Obviously, you can't just like open it up and know what to do. But
Yeah.
like just like with like the a modest amount of reading, someone would be able to figure that out. Is what you're saying, and just have that already kind of built in. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, at least like the very simplest things that are most common. Of course, there are other features that are advanced and for good reason.
Mm-hmm.
That would probably be best handled by the community as they are doing right now. But like the most like normal things would be cool to have built in into, for example, like the SDK. Yeah.
Okay.
That's one thing I feel would be nice if VRChat would do.
And you wouldn't be. I mean, that it would definitely empower the community as a whole. And again, I have to play devil's advocate here because I like to, like, obviously I can see the benefits. Like, don't get me wrong, I can definitely see the positive benefits to what you're saying, and I completely agree with you. But just kind of like create a little bit of friction, So like how wouldn't that cause like, a little bit of like, I mean, I've heard that the avatar creation scene is pretty oversaturated, which I never really kind of comprehended. But I watched a video recently about avatar creation and like the whole kind of aspect of like the people who are involved, like the big names like Zempia and things like that. And like I according to them, the market is pretty saturated. Wouldn't simplifying the work that you would normally, people would normally hire you for or hire other avatar creators for, wouldn't that kind of like, I guess, hurt your ability to like, I guess, make some extra money, or just kind of add to the saturation that already exists with people, just, the average Joe or Jane be able to like, modify their Avi, or any Avies that like you or anyone else would create?
Yeah, that's definitely true. It would lower the barrier to entry for the market. But at the same time, I feel like that would probably just empower those who are already there to go even further, to distance themselves from the absolute basic to the level that they are. Because the community is very like easy. They have this ability to like overcome basically any obstacle you throw at them, right? They do whatever they want to do, and I feel like raising the skill floor, like how bad you could possibly be, would probably just benefit most people, because most people buy like a finished model, kind of like the one you have here from me, for example. And then they're like, oh, I want to have a party hat on top of the head, right?
Yeah.
Right? And then wouldn't it be nice if like you could make a switch for that to be on and off, just like with the 2 buttons in the SDK, right? Because that's what most people do. They buy something that they like the look of, and then they want to like modify it.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to do the entire process. That's reserved for those with an absurd amount of patience, I would say.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the way that I see it. It would probably just help people do the small things that they want to do.
Okay. And again, like I completely agree with you. I have to ask the questions. Because like
Yeah,
those
yeah.
are things that I think people want. Maybe people don't think about it that way. I think people just like want to see things like, oh yeah, yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, let's do that. Let's totally do that. But like I like to think things a little bit, well, a little bit further. You know, let's
Yeah.
like if we did this, this could possibly happen. But I like your answer. I like your answers, and I think that makes perfect sense. So the second part of the question was, what is one thing that you appreciate about VRChat, and it can't be the people, can't be the community?
One thing I appreciate about VRChat is the way that technology gets used. I guess that kind of ties into the people. Is this a cop-out answer?
I don't no. If you justify it, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Don't worry about it. Yeah.
I think like the way that I see like the creativity that you find is just like amazing, because you see some people. I met this person who put a tracker on his cat so he wouldn't step on it, and then he had a virtual cat running around in VR. It's like you can do that here. Can you do that in any other game? No, there's nowhere else that, well, you probably can, but like this place makes it easy and accessible enough for those who want to do things. You can, you know. So that's what I really like about this. Like and the tech is there for you to do basically anything. Like this place was done in the span of roughly 2.5 weeks.
2.5 weeks. Wow.
Nothing. Yeah.
From scratch.
Mostly like a call. Yes.
Wow. And you know what? Yeah, I'm still surprised by that, even though I have interviewed a couple of world creators, but it's like 2.5 weeks to do this is wild. Like that takes like that's a lot of experience. Like the person who like made this was they had their shit together. They've probably made a lot of mistakes and learned a lot along the way to be able to make something like this quickly. This is super interesting. Yeah.
It's he's pretty experienced, but he never made something like this, so I was pretty surprised to see how fast it went too. But like we're talking a lot together on building this place and stuff, and then boom, suddenly it was just done. And the only thing we're doing right now is just like small touches here and there, like, oh, we're adding a disco ball, you know, like, oh yeah, let's do that. Small, tiny, like, details. But the majority is like done. Like the place is complete, more or less.
So so you're a big fan of the technology that allows for an abundance of creativity. It's like having a platform that essentially, I mean, I wouldn't say it rewards you. I mean, I guess VRChat devs are trying to reward people for their hard work, like doing like the creator economy. That's like an attempt, I suppose. But there's also like just like people feeling like inspired to essentially create whatever they want in this space. It does open the door for a lot of different ideas and a lot of creativity. That like you can I've seen people like reverse engineer things. Like it's just like they have an idea and then they kind of start at the point of where like the idea is finished, and they can kind of work backwards to kind of like figure out how to like implement something based on how something already exists, like in VRChat. It's super interesting. How people are just like, they can just kind of see something that exists already, and they can break it down, and then they can create something even more interesting with it. And you know, I guess with Udon coming down the line, and like what that will bring in terms of advancements in world creation, for example. I imagine also in avatar creation. Maybe you have a little bit more to say on that if you have any thoughts on that. Then there's like, you know, the possibilities of what people can build are pretty endless. And it's pretty cool. It's very fascinating. That's why I love VRChat the most.
It's very great that we have this like absolute freedom, like, because you know, like when you made I might just go back to World of Warcraft again, but
Okay.
like when you make a character in World of Warcraft, how long do you take when you select your character and sit there and you're like, yeah, I want this hair, I want this race,
45
I
minutes to
want
an
this,
hour.
right? Character
Typically.
selection and like creation is cool.
Yes.
Character creation is awesome.
Yes. I
And
agree.
then you have these games with limitations, can I say it that way?
Mm.
And then you have this place, which is like not a question of like which of these options do you want. It's like what do you want to look like? You can look like anything. I could look like a bat if I want to, but of course I
Yeah.
chose this over anything else. But yeah,
Mhm.
it's cool that you can select anything you want. It doesn't have to be any predefined thing.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I think that's the thing. I think a mixture of just the technology and the advancements that VRChat has made, the devs have made, and obviously with the SDK, it's made being who you are and expressing yourself in the way that you want to be seen. They've made that so much more accessible and interesting.
Yeah.
Easier, I guess, easier to attain. I guess if you are willing to dedicate, a day's worth of time towards learning Unity and learning the SDK, I think the average person could figure out how to make a toggle or something like that. And the thing is, I know that I could. I know that I have friends who do avatar editing and things like that, so it's not like it's out of my reach or anything. But like I'm a stubborn person. I want to like learn things on my own. So unless I have the time to learn it, I just will not learn it. But like that's just me being stubborn. But yeah, I get what you mean, and I totally agree. It's there's something very, very magical about what VRChat has to offer, and as opposed to other platforms. And I'm very, very excited. People talk all the shit about VRChat and get mad about a whole slew of things, but at the end of the day, they're still here because they recognize the value. They recognize that VRChat is doing, they're doing something right. Of course, they're not perfect, but they're doing something that is empowering people to express themselves and be who they want to be in this space, which I think is the most important thing. The freedom of creativity within feasible limits.
Yeah. I don't think there's any other place on the internet where you can get this amount of freedom or creative freedom to do literally anything you want. Of course, you have games like Minecraft that kind of lets you do that.
There's also Second Life and
but
IMVU came before.
Yeah, but I feel like VRChat is just like so much more interactive.
Oh yeah, because you're in the body. You are essentially the character.
You're literally wearing it.
You are the main character.
So,
yeah.
which is cool.
Mm.
So and then you have like people who create their own like identities and stuff. I love that so much. Oh yeah.
Yeah, eventually I will get to a point where I get like I go through stages of like I at first was just like, I don't want to spend any money on avatars when I first got into VRChat. I didn't want to spend any money because it's just like I don't even know who I am yet in VRChat. So I stuck with like free avies for like the first year. And then I'm just like, you know what? I'm kind of tired of like looking like everyone else, and I'm tired of like when you kind of learn things about VRChat as you exist more in this space. You learn how avatars are made. You learn about weight painting and specific details. You learn about toggles and the possibilities that exist. That other people have that you don't, and you just like get to a point where it's just like, I'm tired of not being able to fully do the things that everyone else is able to do with their paid avatars or whatever, or the avatars that they've created or whatever. So that's what I took the next step. I got into like buying avatars. So that was like my next step. My next step after that will be, it's time for me to start editing. It's like a progression. I think everyone kind of goes through that to some degree, but like for me, that's kind of what it's been. It's just like you get tired of the limitations. Like every limitation that you get sick of, you want to progress further and overcome that limitation.
For sure.
Yeah.
It's great to challenge yourself a little bit and remove those barriers that you have in front of you. And then that makes the feeling of actually managing to do it so much greater when you manage to do it. It's fantastic. So it's great. Like it's a great self challenge if you're interested enough, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Soon, trademark. Very soon. But yeah, okay. So with regards to the technology that exists in VRChat and just what I guess what people, what developers, creators are making use of, what's the thing you're most excited about with VR technology?
Honestly, affordability. I wish more people could get into it because it's very hard to convince people to try it out. It is surprisingly difficult, even though like we had a very long period now with Quest 2 that is surprisingly affordable. It's just a couple of $100, right? But even with that low cost, it's still very difficult because people they don't understand how nice it can be. It's hard to explain.
Yeah.
You have to like kind of experience it for making other people kind of into it. So that's one thing that I wish like that would happen in the future. Like the technology just becomes so common that everyone has tried it and have the possibility to come on at any given point in time, and of course not be too judgmental as well. That is like, because VRChat is a kind of weird space. It's very unique. You see things here that you don't see anywhere else. Like, look, here's this dude with very nice long hair and the other features, like
yeah.
Doesn't normally happen anywhere else, at least not with golden tattoos and milky white skin, like it's and people, as long as people can see like past that and just see people for their personality and appreciate like what they are, it becomes a lot more easier. Because you do see that in VRChat a lot when people like judge very quickly, but at least letting them have the technology to come here and like experience it would probably bring in a lot more people.
Yeah, like in the past, I've talked to guests about the Android beta that I believe is still going on. And I know it's very funny. It's very funny because it's just like, what, VRChat on your phone? What the fuck? Why would you ever want to do that? Why would you ever want to experience VRChat on your phone? But I think like the conclusion that I reached with a couple other people in my community was that like it was an attempt to get the normies here. I think the Android beta is just another doorway, another avenue to get people curious about VRChat, and ultimately to kind of break through to find another way to grow the platform, because like we may be getting to a point we may be getting to a plateau of creativity and just players that exist here. Obviously, there's always new people trying VRChat all the time, but I do think that obviously the devs are trying to find a way to get the normies in, and with affordability, like you mentioned, that's certainly going to lower the barrier of entry to people who are curious about VR. And the wild thing is, I'm pretty sure the majority of people who do obtain this technology, once it does become more ubiquitous with our everyday life, just like everyone has a smartphone now, because I do think that VR will in some degree become like another computer that you have. It's another doorway to the internet. And I think most people won't even know about VRChat because they'll be too busy playing Blade and Sorcery, or what is it like Pavlov is that what it's called?
Pavlov, yeah.
Pavlov VR, yeah, or what is it? Yeah, there are a bunch of other VR games that people are going to eventually check out first before they even think of trying out VR because, normies, But I think even like the average person would also like, look at, the other games first before VRChat. It's not because you said, like you said earlier, VRChat is a very small area of the small sector of the internet. But I think it's a very, it's a very special one. And I think more people having more people here would be very cool. It'd be very, very cool. But we'd have to hopefully put them in their place. But I think that we have to make sure that people like who come here know how things work here. But I think people learn that naturally. You hang around enough people, you go to enough events, you spend even just like a couple of days in VRChat. With a group of people, and I think people will start to kind of find their own way. I think like they're definitely I guess the VRChat world is a good way for people to find their a place to start in VRChat, but you don't quite get to a point of like being involved in VRChat until you're going to community-made events. I think once you get to that point, the sky is the limit when it comes to just having a meaningful experience in VRChat. But people don't think of it as a meaningful experience because it's just like they think of it as a game. Do you consider VRChat a game or a platform?
I was going to mention that actually. I was planning to mention that, so that was kind of funny. I think that's what most people kind of. Is it misconception? Is that the right word?
Misconception, yeah.
They think it's a game while it's actually closer to what they would consider like Facebook or something. It's more like a social spot on the internet. It's just in VR, like we're not competing right now. I'm just sitting here talking with you. But they treat it like a game, so they think the game sucks very often because it's driven by other people,
right?
And let's say you go to a public world in VRChat, it's basically the same as going out on the street in your town, like seeing, or in a playground,
except with mirrors everywhere.
True. But it's like it's not a game until you're playing games with people, right? So people definitely kind of like think of it the wrong way, I would say. But eventually they start realizing, it's just like a social place where just hang out with people, and get to know new people, their stories, and just have fun. And then you find those friends and you go and play games. So that's how I ended up doing it anyway.
I agree. It's very much I think it's easier for people to describe VRChat as a game because it's on Steam. I think it's I think it just rolls off the tongue easier. It's easier to talk about to your normie friend. But I think I think we could kind of describe it. Another way to approach describing VRChat. This is what I talked about with actually my past guest, my most recent guest. Her and I, she mentioned that she kind of sees it as an MMO. It's just it's an MMO space where you have the opportunity to interact with people in essentially an endless space, in this almost endless worlds, in which you can interact with people and be social with people. But it is a multiplayer online experience, and if you think of it in those terms, it does kind of fit the mold of being a game. But I think if you take it a step further to a more, sociological point of view, humans in general, the way humans interact with each other, we're essentially playing games with each other. We're essentially negotiating with one another to understand each other, so that we can understand each other's rules. So like we as individuals, we have our own ways of perceiving things, our own ways of interacting with people, and to socialize with someone is essentially agreeing to a certain subset of rules. And though the rules may not be clearly defined, it's between the two of you or whoever may be present in that space to define what the rules of engagement are. So, though VRChat isn't a game, we as humans, you as individuals, we play games with one another, ultimately to get to know one another. And we agree on those rules, and that's how we're able to make friends. We make friends because we played the game well enough. We played the games with one another well enough. Our interactions were successful enough that we feel that we can continue to play different kinds of games over time, and that the kinds of games that we play with one another evolves over time. The closer that we get with individuals. And that, I think that's the game. That is VRChat's game. It's not how many friends you can make, but how many people can you negotiate with to ultimately find people who are willing to play more detailed, more nuanced games with you over time.
Yeah. It's makes it very like weird for most people because it's very hard to compare it with anything else,
Yeah.
So that's why most people get the wrong idea about it in like the grand scheme of things, because there is no direct comparison. Of course, you can take like elements of other places, but for the most part, it's a very, very unique kind of experience to the VRChat, I would say.
I mean, you could describe VRChat in a way of like if someone has ever played IMV or Second Life, you could just say like it's like playing one of those games, except you are physically in the space as the character. You can describe it that way. You could also even say that like it's akin to like World of Warcraft or any other MMORPG. Like, for example, people. I've never played World of Warcraft, but I've heard stories. Like, I watch a lot of Asmongold. So like I've heard a lot of stories about just people hanging out in the garrison and just like talking with one another and just spitting, just shooting the shit. There's also, I know there's like an RP server. I forget what it's called. But there's like an RP specific place that people generally hang out in.
What I used to do.
Yeah. I mean, hey, I don't judge, but like I know that exists. So like, I think like VRChat is akin to like those sorts of experiences. So like if you know somebody, like if you ever wanted to describe VRChat to them, there are kind of similarities of which you can describe VRChat to be, but I think people will start to understand why it's hard to call VRChat a typical game, because the game is essentially how long can I interact with this person without hyperventilating and becoming an awkward mess. That's like the game that most people in VRChat are playing. Like how long can this person deal with my weirdness? But again, that's what we do in real life anyway. It's the same thing.
Yeah, it's very similar to what you do in real life anyway, so it's not... That might be why some people don't like it at all. Because it is actually real people behind all those pretty boobs and clothes and all the fancy stuff,
Yeah.
There are real people there, and some people suck, and some people are awesome. I'm just gonna find the right mold of people for you.
Yeah, it's for some people it takes a little bit longer than others, but finding the right group of people is like that's that's game changing, really. Finding
Oh, 100%.
yeah, finding a community of people that you really kind of vibe with, or finding an event that you really just had a great time at. Like that's ultimately that's where it all really begins for a lot of people in VRChat. Just finding that really really great event. Was there something? Did you have a specific experience in VRChat similar to maybe going to an event? I know you watched a number of content creators before you in your early days in VRChat, but was there something? Did you like go to an event that really kind of just blew your mind and just like, yeah, I gotta stay here. This is really special type of thing. Have you had something like that happen to you?
Yeah, it was part of what actually made me stay, because I eventually became like part of Firefox Blue. I don't know if you know who it is.
I don't know the name now.
She was one of the mutes that was in like one of the Gator lobbies and stuff, and I was a big fan. And they invited me to come to one of the movie nights, and I had just been watching her streams for a long time, and I was like becoming a big fan because she was like a really nice dancer, and she was kind of funny, and so I came to the movie nights. We laid down, and then Firefox Blue out of nowhere came down and laid on my lap, and I was like, I was so scared. I have never been so scared in my life. And then the movie was over. We watched Lord of the Rings, so I was stationary for solid 3 hours.
Didn't move.
And of course, it's like having a cat on your lap. You don't want to disturb it. So I was still for the entire movie, and then once the movie was over, she got up and was very like, yeah, thanks for letting me lay on your lap and everything, and I was like, yeah, I gotta do this more. That was cool. I was fangirling out a lot back then, and then because we became good friends eventually.
Nice.
But yeah, that was one of the big moments for me.
Yeah, like it's and that makes sense. I think that checks out. It's normally a specific social event, or like a social interaction that happens that it's just like, holy hell, this is not anything that I was expecting. I was not anticipating this to happen, but this is pretty magical, and I appreciate this a lot. So like I think it's moments like that, and like having repeated moments like that ultimately lead to someone, really kind of finding their place, and just wanting to just have more of those really kind of, I want to say meaningful experiences, but I just want to say kind of like game-changing experiences. I'll say that instead. Things that really just change your perspective on what VRChat can be, and what your experience in VRChat can ultimately amount to. It kind of gives you a sense, if you're paying attention, your eyes are open, it gives you a sense of the potential that VRChat has as a social experience, maybe in creativity-wise, maybe in terms of just socializing, maybe in terms of role-playing. It could be a variety of ways. And I really just adore that, and that's why I'm still here. That's why I start streaming, creating content, because I recognized that there was something really really special here, and it seems like you did too. In your
definitely.
in your experiences of like kind of interacting and meeting people and stuff, and that's kind of what VRChat really comes down to. It's really awesome. But there are some people who have really bad experiences. Have you had any bad experience? Have you had a memorable terrible experience in VRChat? Frajs?
Oh, there are many, but let's see. I think very often, like the bad experiences stem down to, at least for what has been around me, it was based on people's relationships. Very
that can
like,
get messy.
Early and yeah, like very early on after I started VRChat, I met people who were very like, because I met them in Publix, you know. They're like very big on like relationships and being together and everything, and that turned into a whole lot of drama that I got pulled into. And then I try to treat people nicely, right? So when I see people that I think are nice, I go over and try to be helpful, maybe like cheer them up or something like that, you know?
Yeah.
Doing that with people that live in a constant state of chaos is very difficult. So
Yeah.
that was
You learn
difficult for me
fast.
to like just accept that. All right, some people. This feels kind of rude to say, but some people are beyond salvation.
I mean, that's why they're here.
Yeah.
They're beyond salvation, so they're here
Maybe.
because they probably understand that about themselves, and they maybe they're trying to fix it, or maybe they're just accepting it, and they're just, like there's so many ways that people get dragged into wild shit just because people like don't understand that they are ultimately causing themselves to be like obnoxious or just overbearing or just a little bit too much for no reason other than because they desire this closeness with people all the time, and they misinterpret kindness as flirtation, and that just causes issues overall. I'm assuming that's what happened.
It's well, I never got into like VRChat relationships because I saw this. And I was like, well, okay, I'm not gonna be part of that anytime soon. Okay, so that whole stuff is why I just keep away from VRChat relationships. Like, of course, things happen sometimes, but never like an official like quote unquote relationship. No, I'm staying away from that because it's just bad vibes for me mentally. So, but you can still get close to people.
Oh yeah.
While not being like considered like a couple.
Yeah, I think people tend to put too much stock on titles and categories. Because we so desperately want to categorize everything, categorize people, and it's just like this person has a certain title, and because they have that title, I expect these things from you, kind of thing. I think being able to care about somebody and being able to show affection to somebody doesn't always require a title to justify it. If you genuinely care about somebody, you can just be able to show kindness to them, show love to them, without feeling like like you are obligated to do so. But I think there are just a lot of people who desperately wish to fill in the gap of their thoughts. When I think more people need to sit down with their thoughts and listen to what their thoughts are telling them, so that they can start to work on themselves. But people just want to they want to cloud out the noise as often as possible, and they do so oftentimes with relationships. So I can definitely feel you there.
I think so too.
Yeah. I'm glad you kind of see where I'm coming from there. It's definitely a real. I wouldn't say it's a problem. I wouldn't say being in a relationship with someone in VRChat is a problem. I would not say that. I would say that it comes with its own share of trials and tribulations. Especially if you're just trying to be somebody that is just very kind to people without having any sort of expectations of like what they want from you. Just staying away from drama as often as possible, because like if you're around people, a large group of people, drama is bound to rear its ugly head at some point. So thankfully it's not so bad that we just don't forego VRChat interactions entirely. Because I think a lot of people who like have bad experiences in those sorts of areas just leave VRChat completely. Because like there's like what else are you gonna do? I mean, you can make a new account. You could block those people. But I think a lot of people are generally are very, very. It's difficult for people to continue to find themselves comfortable on a platform in which some sort of drama or some sort of heartbreak happened to them. And I think that kind of ties into the whole social awkwardness, and just kind of learning how to be social, in a better way, more in a healthier way, I would say.
100%. It goes without saying, like, there are definitely people in here that I would love to be in a relationship. I'm not gonna say any names because I don't know who's watching.
Fair.
But but there are some people that are really sweet. But out of like sheer respect and me knowing VRChat is what it is, I feel like, especially coming from the far north, I am usually far away from everyone too. I feel like it's better to just like leave out that section and just have like a good relation to people, and instead of like involving anything more than that, unless it like transitions over to IRL stuff. Of course, if they come here to visit me and stuff and it becomes a little bit more involved, of course, then that changes things. But having a full VR relationship, I don't think I would be interested in that. No. That would be a little bit too, it would be missing something.
We can definitely talk about the whole relationship aspects. We'll talk about that a little bit later on, and kind of get more nuanced views about that sort of thing, and why you have those opinions about that later on. Which is, I think that'll be very very interesting conversation. So with that in mind, actually, I'm very very curious. I know I kind of asked you about like where you'd like to see technology go. With regards to VR and AR, and also AI technologies, is there something that you'd like to see happen with those kinds of technologies, such as aside from affordability, like you mentioned earlier, is there anything that you'd like to I guess something like would you want more, I guess, is there a type of technology that maybe you've seen in a fantasy sense, or something that an idea that you personally have had that you'd like to see implemented in reality at some point in time in the future, like something that you're like hoping happens in the future?
Like for VR, or
it could be for VR, it could be for augmented reality, it could be for AI technology. Just like like these the very common technologies that we're talking about lately, that are making strides in various societies. Is there anything that you'd like to see just on that front? It could be just specifically to VR, but if you can tie it into VR, that'd be great.
Okay, yeah. No, I feel like I'm gonna give you a very like obvious answer. I'm gonna have it be VR related, but we need some nicer controllers because we have very little options right now. We have one option. True. Is that because that there's something about the feeling of like controlling your fingers like this is I love that. Like the first time that I had this option of controlling my fingers like this, I was like, yes, this is the future. this is the way forward. Like moving the fingers individually feels great. So the sad fact that we just have one option for that, I wish that would become a thing. Like maybe like gloves or something like that, because it kind of sucks. Like for dancing, for example,
yes,
this is maybe not a very
It's not
nice thing to use.
Yeah, slamming your controller into everything by mistake because I feel that. I also do a little bit of dancing, just not a whole lot, but a little bit. But yeah, it's definitely not ideal. Like having to hold your hands like hold your hands with like everything, like and obviously like you want to also do like facial expressions too. So it's just like, then you have to, you have face tracking and eye tracking and blah blah blah, things like that, that really come into play. But yeah, being able to like, mess around with your fingers is really, really nice. But unfortunately, it also messes around with your face in most cases.
Yeah.
And that I don't really care for.
Well, it depends on how you set it up, though.
True.
Like, you can set it up to not do that, or it can do that if you want to. It's like, there's a lot of options to set it up, but yeah, of course. I think that's more like a comfort tuning kind of thing, because we have the ability to change that up already, which is really nice.
Yeah.
But like something like VR gloves, for example.
Yes. Gloves
Hell
would be
yeah,
amazing.
I'm down for that. Oh, I can't wait until that becomes like a normal thing, if it ever does. But if it does, I'll be all for it. That's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, like I think like having gloves that are porous but also have like trackers like I guess built into the gloves themselves, like onto like the back of the hand, maybe like on each individual individual finger, but they won't break. Like if you smack your hand on something, like the things won't break, because they're just made of certain material in the glove. But just like porous, porous, breathable gloves that allow you to have the same effect without having to hold a piece of plastic in your hand.
Yeah. Because the inside of your hand is usually honestly, it's a very volatile place for a thing to be. Because our hands are doing all kinds of things, right? But on the outside of our hands, there's not much. When was the last time you had something that was stuck outside of your hands?
Right.
Doesn't really happen, right? But on the inside, you hold things. You like hold pens and things like all the time. So it's a place where you probably won't want to put things. So doing it on the outside of the fingers, where you're not in danger of hurting anything, probably a good place to do it. But it's going to be interesting to see how they do it in the future, if they do anything at all. I think it's going to be a while until something good comes along, but I'm looking forward to that for sure.
Yeah, I mean, all things considered, we are pretty lucky that, technologies like the Wii came along, because I'm pretty sure that technology definitely influenced the design of, how the index controllers work, as like a finger moving option. I don't think you can move your fingers using the Wii controllers, but just the fact that, the tracking being mapped to the controller. I mean, obviously it's not really mapped to the controller, it's actually mapped to your headset. But you get what I mean. Basically being able to move your hands every which way and have that control. I would think that the Wii did that first, or maybe it was the was it the Rift? No, it had to have been the Wii or some other like mid 2010s technology. I think that kind of laid the groundwork for what we can do with like index controllers now, because there wasn't anything prior to that, I don't think, if I'm thinking correctly.
Yeah, I think it was the Wii. I never had a Wii, so I don't know.
I never had one either.
But I think the Wii was groundbreaking for many things, and that's probably played a role in what we have here today. And what we have here today is probably also gonna be the trendsetter for what's gonna come in the future. Like, it's a very high bar to set. There's a lot of like small requirements because these are already pretty good.
Yes.
So what comes next is gonna, it's gonna have to be better. That's how you continue, or otherwise people are just gonna use what's already there. So it's gonna be cool to see what's gonna be the next thing.
Yes.
Sure.
What's your opinion on immersive technologies? like a la Sword Art Online type shit.
Immersive technology, like you're thinking about hardware or software?
I mean, in terms of like, you know, having not having to trick your brain into feeling shit. So basically, like haptic technologies, more so like maybe neurotechnical technologies, like something you'd see like out of Black Mirror, like how people can just kind of link to the internet, just putting something on their head, essentially, not like a massive piece of plastic, but just like a little itty bitty thing that links up to your brain type thing. Just like stuff that allows you to kind of feel more present, in I guess in a VR space. Do you have any thoughts or hopes about that?
It is a very like exciting kind of thought, but at the same time, I feel like there are certain boundaries that are very scary to cross. So
Like?
once you get to that stage where it's like something, no matter what it is, like starts connecting to your brain, that becomes very. I feel like that becomes kind of scary.
True. True. It becomes very, very invasive.
That's like, yeah, it's stepping over a line that hasn't been crossed before. And
whoop.
Oh, whoa, there we go. Okay, we're back anyway.
All right. All good.
But yeah, like stepping over that like extra line is kind of scary. But hopefully once that happens, it's not gonna be as bad. Though I do have my suspicions on that it's not gonna be something that I'm gonna be too thrilled about. I feel like certain things should just be left as fiction. So yeah.
Okay.
But haptic vests and stuff that are lighter things that doesn't invade into your body, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Is fine. I guess that is a good way to put it.
Okay.
So, like things that makes you feel on the outside of your body it's not too bad.
That's probably how technology is going to go. I think, obviously we have, Elon Musk doing Neuralink technology, which is, it's gone on record that that technology has helped, I believe, of someone who could not walk, to begin the process of being able to walk again. So, that technology is definitely kind of leaning. It's showing it has potential in the medical space, but I think most technologies in terms of like gaming or just stuff that we would probably make use of, it'll probably end up being something that's on the outside that maybe links up with something that kind of like taps into our nerves or something like that isn't like, it's not directly in our bodies, but like a technology that can access certain portions of our body based on like the thing that we put on, like maybe we'll have like stickers or something, like we'll have like these stickers that we like attach to our bodies, very similar to how they do like an EKG type of example, or maybe like we'll have like, again, these are like, I'm just kind of shooting this shit, like just kind of running with your idea of like, let's not have technology that is invasive in our brains and shit, just like kind of thinking outside the box here, having those stickers like an EKG, like they stick all these stickers on your body and then they like take an X-ray of like your heart, and like they basically like look at your heart, essentially. That's what an EKG essentially is, or you could have it to like, you could like maybe like how they do for X-rays, maybe there'll be like a certain kind of liquid that you drink, that will last a certain amount of time with a certain kind of technology that will make your body, I guess, more susceptible to haptic feedback, and maybe something like that could be created. And mind you, I'm only like this sort of like idea of like thinking like of a drink or something. I literally just came up with this on the fly just now. Just kind of thinking about your idea. Just kind of like think creatively, you know? Because like it's for me, it's very exciting. I'm a big fan of Black Mirror. But I can see how dangerous that technology can be, and obviously they don't pull any punches. They tell you how dangerous that technology can be, in many ways throughout the episodes that they create. But I still think it's very, very exciting. Do you have Phantom Sense?
Oh, for sure. I would say no. If it is, then it's very sporadic. I've had moments where it kind of feels like it, and then other moments where it's like I should be feeling anything, but no. It's very, I feel like it's very on and off. I feel like it's very like in the spur of the moment. If I am in a scenario where I'm really feeling it, then I would say yes, but otherwise no. So
yeah.
You wouldn't be able to come here and like tickle me or something, but it's more of like I would say it's more on the mature end of things.
Same.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah. But it's a very like sporadic thing.
Yeah. It's also very sporadic for me too. I don't just have it. I'll talk to you a little bit more about that actually.
Sure.
So we can get into your avatar design stuff now. Actually, I think that's a good place to kind of jump into that actually. With regards to Phantom Sense, I'm just gonna be real with you. Not that I haven't been already, but I'm gonna be even more so about this particular topic because I could just keep it to myself. But I'm gonna let you know on the podcast. Wearing Julia has like changed it's changed my level of Phantom Sense. Like wearing your Julia has actually like unlocked something in my brain because like wearing Julia like the way that you sculpted her, mainly in her in her lower body, it is nearly identical to how my thighs look and how my ass looks IRL. Almost identical. And I've never experienced that before. It's either been too thick or too thin. Julia is like actually like what I look like IRL, like for my thighs and my ass, and I'm just like that has unlocked my Phantom Sense to a degree I've never experienced before. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Actually, the funny thing is that I've had two other people kind of not saying the same thing, but something in the same vein. Once when it came to Ruby, and then once with Julia. So it's funny because I didn't intentionally do it. Just like I just make something that I feel like I think looks nice. And then it accidentally became sometimes a little bit better than what I expected it to be. But I mean, happy accidents, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you can never anticipate like how your Abby is going to be worn, or who is going to wear it, or how someone is going to, I guess relate to it. But as someone who I'm not an actor. Like, I mean, I'm a trained actor, but I'm not in VRChat being an actor. I'm in VRChat being me. I'm in VRChat being Nefertiti, essentially. So So when for as long as I've been in VRChat, I've just never experienced wearing an Abby that just kind of just fit my form so well. And again, you can never anticipate who's going to interface with it. But for me, whenever I put on an Abby, I tend to take on the personality that they have for me. I mean, I'm already seeing this. I'm already I look at the Abby before I purchase it, and I can already kind of see how I would use it. So I kind of I see those are the terms that I see avatar creation in, or for at least purchasing one. It's can I see myself wearing this, and if I were to wear this, how would I conduct myself? Again, you know, I'm still being me, but putting on a certain Abby does. It's like you get like an extra charisma buff. Really, it's just like,
Yeah.
man, I have titties that will never be this big. It's kind of nice, honestly. It's
Same.
yeah, it's yeah, it's definitely a buff of sorts. Yeah, for real. So like, it feels nice when you can wear something that really genuinely jives with you. And you know, obviously under the circumstances that I obtained Julia and Ruby, like I wasn't expecting that to happen, but it did. And I just kind of wanted to gush about that for a little bit, just so you know that I've really been enjoying Julia. Let me just say that. You know,
I think you're not the only one about that. But it was Julia was like the first avatar that I ever sold. But it was not the one that you had.
Right, it was the original one.
I
You
did
it.
the original one. That was like the first one that I ever like dared to sell, because I was a noob. I didn't know like how to sell avatars and stuff. So I did like a test and tried to do it for the first time. She didn't actually turn out that well, but it was the best that I knew how to do at the time. Right. So later on, I was like, yeah, I want to like make this a little bit better, because I feel like I didn't really like live up to what I kind of wanted to do. But I refreshed Julia, and she became, well, let's say like the original wasn't really that well adopted by people, because like first and foremost I was new.
Right.
And then she wasn't that good, and then the new version of her just like absolutely blew out of proportions. I was not ready for that at all. Like she is by a long shot my most popular model. Like, of course, this Ruby was also really good. This is the most work that I ever put into anything. But Julia is definitely my biggest success so far.
Hell yeah.
Totally unexpected, but I'm very glad that people like it. Also seeing like people making their own like versions of her and like all that stuff. It's great. I love that.
Yeah, Julia is the second avatar that I've encountered that I guess the third avatar that I've encountered that I really have wanted to modify, but I haven't done it yet because of my own personal hangups and just time. But I most definitely want to like, I want to mess around with her and get and kind of like take what you've done with her and like put that together with some other aspects, some other like elements from other avatars that I've seen, and truly like make her into like a custom look, because like obviously like I appreciate her like as she is, but I feel like there's so much more that I would love to like I'd love to wear her more, is what I'm saying, because I like obviously like I'm enjoying Ruby. I randomly decided to wear Ruby in my last VRChat stream last week, and it just kind of worked. It kind of worked. Like I could see something in Ruby, like I've mentioned before, and I just really just enjoyed just kind of, you know, wearing this kind of look, which, you know, it's also grown on me. So so let's talk about instead of like talking about like my personal experience with your Abbies, how about we talk about just like how did you get into avatar creation in general? I know you kind of mentioned that a little bit earlier, of just needing like to scratch that itch, but I guess what I guess initially inspired you to start making avatars?
So I think this is going to be the third time that I mentioned Firefox Blue.
Yes.
but she had her own like avatar that wasn't like the same as most of the others. It was the one that she had like made into her like persona.
Mm.
And I was like, yeah, I would like to do something like that too. So I did end up like commissioning someone to make like a model for me
Mm-hmm.
that would be representative of me. So I gave them like a list of like small requirements. It wasn't really that long. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I could tell you a couple of things. It had to have a red and a blue eye,
Mm-hmm.
white hair, and glasses, and a Norwegian flag somewhere,
Mm.
preferably on the thighs, and a couple of like more Nordic tattoos.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell that I kept some of those elements, especially the glasses and the eyes and the hair. But over time I adapted. I commissioned that person over again to like add some more clothes,
Mm-hmm.
and that ended up becoming very expensive very fast.
Yeah, I bet.
That because I didn't know how to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Something that I could do in 5 minutes now, I would have to pay $80 to $100 for that person to do.
Yeah.
And that's when I started realizing, okay, I am gonna start meddling with this. So the one that I had commissioned, I started picking it apart very carefully. And I broke it, and I broke it again, and I probably, that specific model, I think I broke it roughly about 200-300 times by trying different things, even without touching Blender, and then just like picking at things and seeing what sticks. What does this do? What does this do? And then trying out different things, and then like peeling an onion kind of deal.
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually I got comfortable like working out, like moving the head over to another body that I also had a different outfit. That's what I ended up doing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started learning how to do that, like the physics with the hair and everything, like one thing at a time, very, very many times. So like whenever I learned how to do, for example, like the physics on hair, I made like 10-15 different things that I did that with to practice on what I just learned. And then eventually people were telling me that they really liked the things that I made for myself, and they were like, you should like start selling. And funnily enough, the person who told me that is the person who made this place.
Oh, who played? Oh, okay. Wow. Okay, wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And I really looked up to him. Like many people maybe know him like as a soldier or Vinny, and he makes some of the most popular avatars in VRChat already. And he was giving me compliments on my stuff, and that made me more encouraged to keep going. So I did, and I became better. I was like, yeah, this is a lot of work, but I kept going at it, and then I came to a certain moment when I created Chanel, which is the one you used for your podcast earlier. Whereas like I came over it like a hill, and you can see that in my store too. Like that's when my stuff started actually looking kind of nice. And from there on, people really started liking stuff that I did. And yeah, that's kind of where I'm at today. It's just been like a long road for 3.5 years of just testing and trying out, seeing what sticks and everything. So 3.5 years to become a mediocre avatar creator is a lot of time investment for very little. But I think it's fun. It's challenging. it's mental stimulation. So I don't really do it for money. I just do it because it's interesting. I find it fun, and then giving people something that they like at the end of the day for a very, very small price at the end of the day compared to how many hours I spent on it. I feel like it's okay. That's a fair rate because I have to take money for it, but it's like I usually set my price at lower ends of the scale so most people can afford it.
Right.
Yeah. That was a lot of things in one single question, but yeah.
Oh no. I was listening. So like, so it was after you made Chanel that things started to kind of take off for you.
Yeah, Chanel was like the one that kind of started it all because I wanted to do something like stupid. It was like, okay, what if I just make like a really nice green model and I just like put a little bit more effort into it and don't make like one of these like very poor ones. I just want to make one that looks very nice but it's still green.
Green, yeah.
What happens if I do that? And she became so popular like in the club scene. But I also gave away I think about 40 to 50 copies of Chanel for free. Because it was more like community service, right? It was more I just wanted to do something for the community because like there isn't that many nice green models.
True.
So
they're not.
And then after that it was just like it was Julia and now there's Ruby and now there's two more in the making.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm being.
I hope I can see them at some point. That'd be pretty cool. Wink. Yeah. Wink. Wink.
Yeah.
No pressure. It's totally all right.
Because, like earlier on, I before Chanel, I made two other models aside from Julia, of course, that I feel like I just want to raise to my current level of skill, so that I am pleased with everything that I have, and then I can keep going. So, looking at there's gonna be one named V, which is more like a punk mohawk girl. And then you have Nilo, which is more like a comfy with a cat onesie and very like cutesy kind of look compared to this, which is more of like, can I call it more of like a hot mommy kind of look?
Yeah. Yeah, badass.
And then there's
yeah.
And then there's Julia, which is like the more like cute but kind of hot looking.
Yeah, cute but hot. Yeah.
A little bit younger.
Yeah.
Younger than Ruby.
Yeah.
So
for sure. Yeah, it's definitely it's definitely a different vibe. Like, but that's what I mean. Like, as you know, I'm actually like I'm a trained voice talent, so I'm also, you know, I've done the acting thing. So like we're trained to like look at characters and assess what their voice would be, or like what their personality would be like, and then we kind of look at dialogue also to kind of assess, so like, okay, this is how they talk, this is how they carry themselves based on the dialogue that's written, how their appearance and how they generally kind of like just function as characters. And that's what I do. Like I look at Julia and I'm just like, yeah, she's very fun, very she's definitely not innocent, but she's definitely fun. She's definitely very like cute, which is different for me because I typically don't really lean towards you know, just the overtly cute personally. But she has like this nice mixture of like cute but hot aspect to her that like it feels really nice to wear her. But like Ruby is just like straight up like Ruby has seen some shit. She's very strong, very independent, very grunge biker, you know, ex-Yakuza even. Like I write my own stories for every avatar that I wear. I kind of create my own stories of like who they were before now, and just kind of that kind of just informs of like how I how I carry myself. And it's really, really cool. It's nice. That's why I decided to wear ruby. I don't know if I'll do it for future podcasts. I don't know if I will, but I want to try it out and see how she felt for like doing the interview like this. But I do think I will need to make a couple of I want to definitely like change her around a little bit, and maybe I'll continue to use her in that way, because I think she's cool. I think she's very mature, very, very, very mommy. Sure. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Was that the intention?
It is very intentionally that she's on the more like mommy side, because she was targeted specifically for dancers.
Mm-hmm.
It was very important for me that she was really good for dancers. Like, she had to feel good.
Yes.
So I had several pole dancers that were using her while I was developing her, and giving me feedback on like how does it feel, like is this good, like is there something missing. And yes, we ended up with a pole also as one of the toggles, for example. But it's this is the first time that I had a dancer model as a focus. And then I also of course, I don't know if you noticed this, but this year is also the year of the dragon, which means that Ruby had to have a dragon as her tattoo.
Oh.
So she pays respect to that in a way. I'm not Asian related, but I felt like that was a nice little
a nice little I guess Easter egg of like the timing of like when you created her and everything. I actually thought it was a snake. I thought it was like a viper, which is that's just, I guess I didn't look at it closely enough. So that's on me.
Yeah, no, it's a little bit more like a Asian like dragon serpent kind of.
Okay, gotcha.
So snake is probably not that far off. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah. Okay. Understood. Okay. Yeah. I definitely did notice. I mean, obviously I noticed the tattoo, which is actually the aspects of your work that I really, really like. I really appreciate the intricacies of like your tattoo work. That's very like prominent on Chanel. Very prominent on all of your models actually. Is that like an element that you just kind of like to do with your models?
Yes, I would say so. It's one of the things that you can't do IRL. Like you cannot make tattoos like this in real life. So that's where I feel like, okay, here I can go wild. I can be crazy. And what I feel like a lot of people do initially is that they make just normal black tattoos and they call it a day. And I feel it is very generic. I make it an option, of course. So if you want to be generic and have like black tattoos, then sure, no problem. But that's not the route that I would hope people go. So I make them a little bit more like excessive. Is that they become very much an integral part of the entire design.
Yeah, decorative. Like it feels like it belongs there. Like if you removed it, it would feel weird. Because it's just a part of the character, the design itself. It seems like
That's kind of like when you see, like, for example, like my tattoos are. I mean, I'm generally a very like loving person in general. I try to reach out to people. I try to be nice. You've been
nothing but sweetheart.
The way that I am. So.
Yeah.
So that's why I was very big on like, the heart is like the biggest thing for me. So that's why I felt like this fit a lot. And then, of course, gold. I love that shit. So just combine it all, and then there you go. So I went a little bit extra crazy for my own, but that's because I had no limits working on my own.
Yeah.
which is very different for something you sell.
Right. Yeah. You wanna be generous with the design, because you don't wanna overrun it, but then obviously you want to give people the option to
Yeah.
remove it. But I think if you were to, for example, to go wild the way that you did with your design, I would just be thigh tattoos on or off, arm tattoos on or off, left arm, right arm tattoo on or off.
Yeah.
That's what I would do if I wanted to go crazy, if I wanted to add on that many. I'm sure you've thought of that idea, but
Yeah.
but I think it's cool.
It depends very much on per model.
Yeah, what's the overall vibe of said model, the vision that you have for her. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
So when it comes to, I guess, avatar design, can you kind of walk us through your process from start to finish? It could be in phases. It could be in terms of what you're usually sculpting. Just kind of explain your how do you how did how did you go about making your own? How about we go with that? How about we, because based on how you've done the work on your own, that should inform all the other work that you've done for other avatars. Because as you've improved, I imagine you've improved your own personal design.
Yeah, as you can tell, it's also based on Ruby, but done a little bit more excessively. So for my own, it was basically just taking extra things that I possibly couldn't use as a commercial model, for example, or other things that I would be very hard to put on a commercial model for sale, because it would be hard to make it work properly with everything else. Whilst when it's only for me, I can tolerate some scuff,
Right.
Because you don't see the scuff, you just see the results.
Right.
Yeah. So that makes it a lot more different for a personal one. But when you're making a new model from scratch, when you want to put something together, I mostly spend a lot of time browsing the markets, looking what's out there, what is available, looking for ideas and stuff. And then, for example, I had this one with a mohawk. I was the whole idea around the entire avatar came from me seeing the hair, mohawk hair, and I'm holy shit, that is cool. I want to make a model around that. So I started with the hair and then put a face and body and clothes and stuff. So the hair was the first thing on, and then everything got molded around the hair. And some other times I might find a super nice piece of clothing, and I'm I really like something that works with this. And then you find things that fits around that. So you have certain elements of each model that is core of it. For Ruby, for example, this might not seem like it for many, but it is her hair. Her hair is completely unique.
Yeah, which I love. I actually love her hairstyle. Yeah.
And I have a habit of going for short hair styles, but I wanted it to feel full. So she has all these other add-ons to her hair to make it feel just as full as my hair, for example. Because you can see I have very big fluffy hair. But the original Ruby also has hair that feels very big while it's not, which makes it also more optimized. So it's a win-win-win, because it also looks very unique. So it's very it very depends on what you find when you want to set together something. But yeah, you get the idea. You find a central piece and then you build around that.
And what about body? What about body sculpting and weight painting? Like obviously after you find a certain theme that you want to work off of, for example with the hair, where do you go, like how do you kind of put all of that together? Like how does it become like a cohesive thing when obviously maybe you want to use a certain head or you want to use a certain body? Do you have your own body? Do you have your own body? What are they called? Forms?
Yeah.
Like for what you build?
I do make use of a very like common base called the Synfit,
Yeah.
which a lot of people make use of, and the reason for me choosing that is to make it easier for people to customize it later on. I use a lot of very common parts, very simple ways to put things together so that it's easy to use later on.
Mm-hmm.
And sculpting it is not that excessively changed based on how it is when you get it, but that is also intentional, so you don't have to do a lot of extra work to put it together. I've started to make my the body shapes a little bit more excessive than they used to be, because I wanted a little bit more of a signature. But like, for example, if you wanted to find a new tattoo, maybe you don't like this tattoo that you have right here, then it's very easy for you to find a replacement. You don't need to rely on someone
to make a
commission or something. Yeah. So you can easily find something that you like and just put it on instead of the one that I chose, right?
So ZenFit as a whole allows more flexibility for people who want to customize the Avi in their own way, because there are a lot of accessible assets out there that allows you to do that.
There are a lot of stuff for ZenFit. It's like the most common base out there, so it's it makes it a lot easier for people to personalize. And I want people to personalize. I want people to pick out my stuff and make their own like versions of it, because that's what got me started, right? That's how I started. I started like poking at things, like I said earlier, and I want other people to experience that like burst of creativity they get when they're like figuring things out. And I put things together in a very simple way to make it very easy for them to figure it out too. So once you pick it up, it's like not too hard to pick it apart and get it into a working state again, compared to many others who would probably make a lot of like complicated things. You would have to get a college degree before you can actually do anything to it. So that's user friendliness is very like core to me. You can kind of pick that up.
Yes. Yeah.
I do need something to drink though, so
okay. Yeah, I get something to drink. So I'll continue with that. But yeah, that's like, it's I know, like, you say that you're relatively new, and you say that you've been working on avatar designs for 3.5 years, which is, again, not too far away from when you not first started VRChat, but when you first kind of took a proper liking to VRChat. So it wasn't too long after that you decided to start poking around and learning how to make your own avatars. So, like, I guess what is it about avatar design that you find, I guess, like, if you're only doing it for fun and you're not doing it for money, you're not doing it for, fame or glory, obviously, you're just kind of doing it to give back to the community, I guess, what drives you? What drives you, aside from just making something and having that itch in the back of your mind that you like, that is like your job, your day job? How does that work for you?
Yeah. It feels very rewarding to be able to offer someone something that can make them happy. Like the thing that you told me earlier, for example, that you really took a liking to Julia. Like, exactly. Great. I love that. Like, I, my work have provided you something that you like,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that feels very rewarding. It's not about how much money I earn on it. It's just like me making someone's day like nicer and them finding something that resonates with them is a great feeling. You know, is like it could have been anyone, but the thing that you ended up liking was my thing, and that's makes it a little bit of like feeling of accomplishment that feels really good. And then later on, I noticed this when I was making Ruby. This one, it was like the first time when I had spent a few hundred hours on her in Blender and then put it together in a working state and then made things work. And then I had a pole dancer who received it and was gonna test it. And the first time that I saw the dancer pick it up and step up on the pole and dance, oh, it was so beautiful. It was exactly like I envisioned it. It was exactly. I actually started crying because it was so pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yes, this is exactly what I wanted it to be. Yeah, no, it's just like those kinds of things, you know. It's like that's kind of what drives me. Sense of accomplishment, giving people something they can be happy with, and something that is easy to use and personalize.
Mm-hmm.
That is kind of like my main kind of things for it, and then of course it's fun. It's so I got something to poke my brain with. So it's a combination of many things, I would say.
Nice. I can definitely relate to the satisfaction of just like accomplishing something that people actually enjoy. I try to do that all the time.
Yeah.
As a streamer, that's the goal every time to hopefully create something
Yeah.
that people will walk away with feeling as though like it was time well spent, and in your case, it was money well spent. When it comes to the
Yeah.
avatars that they purchase from you, which is awesome. I love that.
Yeah.
So,
That's
go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah. That's why I often like I am very generous on giving people discounts and stuff because it's not about the money. It's just like just I just want people to try out my things, give it a shot. You know. Oh, yeah.
Do you
I'm not trying to advertise, but yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. No, it's okay. Like, do you like you said like Julia like had a pretty big positive reception. So I guess in terms of like does the reception of your of people who enjoy your avatar, does that influence the decisions that you make on future avatars?
Oh, 100%. Like if there's something that I did that they really like, I'm snapping that up and I'm like, oh, well, I'm gonna make sure to like keep that little like essence for later. Um, like I also do the same thing whenever I do like updates, work in progress pictures, and like all the things. Whenever I see people like react to it, the little like details, I try to like pick up like small cues, like from whatever people enjoy. So yeah. Every single piece of feedback is good feedback, and unless it's unfair, of course, it's like criticizing something I can't do anything about it. But most of the time, I love getting feedback because it kind of guides me like the right direction. So yeah.
So, have you ever gotten like ridiculous feedback before? Like, I hate this Abby. It's the worst thing I've ever tried. Trash.
Yeah.
Have you actually received something like that? That's wild. That's wild. That like
I mean,
like I'm laughing because
it's
like it's ridiculous because I'm pretty sure the person who criticized you was not someone who knows how to make Abbies. I'm pretty sure it was just some stupid ass individual who doesn't know how to do anything creative.
yeah. I have been criticized for not doing better by a person who, yeah, it was someone who probably thought they knew better, which they probably do in some aspects, but I don't think they realize when you're gonna sell something, everything has to work,
Right.
not just this thing. So like when you do this thing, then this stops working and this works janky. So you have to like kind of find a middle ground where everything works properly too.
Right.
It's very hard to like pinpoint. Well, you kind of get what I'm saying.
Yeah, like different
I hope.
toggles can affect how certain things work, and can break certain
Yeah.
things.
So what if you do one thing that might affect something completely different, another place in the full control system of the avatar? So I don't think they consider that, but I don't want to sit and like argue with people about that. They can have their opinion on that. If they don't like it, of course, that's a little bit of a shame because I made it and I put a lot of heart into what I do. So
yeah.
But I tried my best.
Yeah, and I imagine like regardless of what people say, like you're always like you sound like you're very much trying to improve yourself. Obviously, you know. You're trying to learn and improve yourself, and I think from what I mean, you know, maybe I'm just biased, but I'm like it's clear that there's a desire to make what you do as good as it possibly can, and to continue to learn and grow, and just to be like an avatar creator that hopefully brings a lot of joy to people, and that seems to be like your biggest goal, just you know. Just create things that people will genuinely enjoy, and if you don't enjoy it, then you can find someone else.
Yeah. I think there are also many people who make avatars who do it specifically to make money. And that's fine. That's fine. I don't aim to be like the world's biggest creator or anything. I just make what I like, you know.
Whoop. Oh, wow.
I'm still here. Oh, there we go.
There you go. And technology, am I right?
Yeah, I know, right? Maybe we could get some better trackers eventually. That would be nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I just make I just make things that I like, and then if people like it, that's great. I love that. And if they're not that many people who likes it, well, I mean, it's still big effort from me that I can be proud of. And I can put it on my repertoire. Like, this is what I made, you know? So it's still part of my history, so.
All right. And how do you go about pricing your Avies? I know you said you don't make them too expensive. You make them so they're generally affordable for most people. Do you think that'll ever change? Do you think that'll always be like what you do and how you price things? But I just kind of want to get into like your thoughts about like how you decide on pricing things, and if you reference any other creators in order to kind of determine what would be best for you.
I like to be very low because I want to be affordable to people. I don't want to be on the high scale, where people consider me as he's just money grabber, right?
Right.
When I do it like the way that I do it, when I do it just for fun, and hopefully give something that might be a little bit simpler for people, but also is very easy to work with, then I feel like they hopefully get their money's worth, and of course, some models that I made have been more expensive than the others.
Mm-hmm.
So if you see me like pricing something higher, that is mostly a reflection of maybe that it was expensive to develop the avatar, or it was a lot of extra effort if I take like $5 more for this one than I did to the previous one. And something has changed if the price went higher. Like I know for Ruby, for example, this one that you're wearing right now is it's set to 35, whilst the others are in less than 30. But Ruby had a couple of elements. I'm not going to pinpoint exactly what it is. That was extremely expensive. She was very expensive to put together. So that's also why she ended up being $5 more. But if it wasn't for that, then she would probably be in the same bracket of 29. I would just want to be under 30 because that's where most people can afford it.
Do you feel as though that your pricing reflects your skill level? Like, do you think you're underselling your worth in any way?
I might be, yeah. Possibly, but I don't think I am. Because there are certain things that I just don't know how to do. I see other creators who's awesome. They make great stuff for also 35. And they do things that I normally wouldn't be able to do. So it makes me respect it, and I am thinking to myself, like, okay, just out of pure respect for the creators, to have them in, so it will be fair game in a sense. It is good for me to set myself where I feel like I should belong compared to everyone else. So yeah, I feel like my pricing is pretty fair. But if I set everything for free, then I would break the market, you know.
Oh yeah.
Everyone would hate me. So it's like I gotta try to place myself where I need to be based on my skill level and the models, the builds as a whole. So yeah.
Of course, you can't price yourself too low that you become like a joke and people dislike you, and you can't price things too high that people are just like, well, I can get something better than this for this amount anyway, so they're just kind of looking for money anyway. Yeah. Like I can understand your mindset and your consideration for like not only other creators, but just just the level of skill and the effort that you put into your designs, and I think it makes sense. I think obviously, like, there's no way that I can ever criticize, your decisions on pricing or anything like that. But like, just I wanted to get your take on it, and kind of understand like your thinking, your thought process about approaching things like avatar creation and things like that. So
yeah.
So I appreciate learning about that. So like. Is there a certain skill that you're trying to improve on right now in terms of avatar creation?
Yes. I'm actually becoming a little bit of an apprentice-ish for someone who's a pretty he's a pretty experienced creator already. But yeah, recently getting into this place here and that we are at, I've also gotten to know a lot of new creators that didn't know me from before. But I've made a bunch of new friends, and one of them has kind of taken me in and kind of, it feels like he sees what I'm trying to do, my intentions and stuff, and then he's offered to learn teach me more about a program called Substance Painter. which allows you to make custom textures for your stuff and make it from scratch and do it a little bit more easily. I have not been very successful in working with that program earlier. So it's going to be very exciting to see how that turns out when he sits down with me and starts teaching me this properly. So that's next on the agenda. Probably on my next model, you'll see the results of that. Because I like to apply the new things that I learn instantly into my new work.
Yeah, just learn like install that into your brain immediately by actually using what you learned. Yeah, that's the way to learn
Use it in
anything.
Practice.
Yeah, exactly. So how did you come up with the slow blinking effect? Because as far as I know, that's exclusive to you. And the avatars I think they still blink fast. I think they still have a fast blink, but they also have a slow blink too.
Yeah.
So how did you come up with that?
I always felt like the iZone avatar, when they had this like very like snapshot blinking, it felt very static to me. Like it's like it was like just too little blinking, and it didn't feel very like human. Not that we're trying to be humans here, but it is like you want a certain sense of human elements into it.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, maybe if I just add a little bit more, an additional like slow blinking to the idol face, maybe that it's gonna look nice. And when you pair that up with the original like snapshot blinking, it ended up not looking too bad actually. I was pretty happy with that. So yeah, I implemented that on basically anything that I've sold, except for my first one, because I came up with the idea for my second one. So I kind of stuck with it ever since because I really liked it. And I feel like when it looks at you and has a little like slow blink, it looks very nice.
Yeah.
Some people don't like it, but it also, in my normal fashion, I just made it easy to remove.
Right.
It is just right there. You just replace it with something empty. It doesn't do that anymore. So.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think it's a good look. It's I've gotten complimented on that. Obviously, it's not to me. It's to the creator, obviously, to you. But yeah, the slow, yeah, like I'm like, oh, thank you, I did it no, it's very much like it's definitely something that's unique to your particular Abby's. I've never seen any other creator do something like that, so I just kind of wanted to point it out because I think it's really, really interesting. And also, I'm gonna do a little example. This is also
them.
Like that's also unique to what you can do also. So like was that part of the plan also? The controlling of the blink.
You do get questions. You do get questions like you have like face tracking and like
no.
No. So, but
it mimics it pretty well. If you get really good at it, yeah.
Yeah, and I really like that. But then again, I am also very practiced in using my gestures. So it's a little bit like second nature to me. So I really like that feature. So I'm like, yeah, it's not something that is very like central to the model, but it's like an extra little thing. So I was just like, yeah, I have to have this, and it has to be on every single one.
Yeah, that's what Frajs does. You know, that's a Frajs model. Like, and it has the slow blink and the controlled blink. Yeah. I mean, like, I imagine like that's the kind of branding you're going for, yeah. like
Yes.
bits and
among other
pieces of
things,
yourself, that stand out, like your tattoo designs. Like, do you
Mhm.
come up with the tattoo designs yourself, by the way? Is that something you do on your own?
No, I find bits and pieces and then I apply it to the Abbey, and then it's all like put together. But what I do is that I do make something we call masks for the different sets of things. So like for example, like the one that you have right there on your skin is originally completely black.
Oh.
But I split it up into different parts, made it stick out from the skin, and then coloring it in different colors and stuff. And yeah, just make it look nice and unique. So yeah, there's a lot of work just there. And then one day I might actually draw everything, scratch myself. Who knows?
Who knows?
That's hopefully in the future.
That would be cool to see. That'd be very, very awesome to see. I'd love to see what you could do with that, and like obviously like you've seen, like you have very good taste. Like the tattoos that Chanel has, that fox tattoo that she has. You know, you have the dragon tattoo on Ruby, which is what I'm wearing, and then you have the butterfly and leaf one on Julia, which is also really, really, really nice. Like there's so many like very kind of nuanced things about your avatar designs that I've taken the time to notice, and I think that's really, really cool. Obviously, like your love for gold. Like it's like, this must be gold. Like I've noticed that too. So yeah, just very, very like bits and pieces that make it very clear this is a Frajs design, which I think is really, really cool. I've really enjoyed your designs overall, and I'm like I said, I really, really enjoy Julia a lot. So yeah.
I'm glad you do.
Yeah.
Like, I think like one extra thing that I feel like I always do is that, like, if you look in your hair, you'll see right above the ear there's a little like chip.
Yeah.
That has a fries on it,
Right,
like a little box of fries.
Yes. Yeah.
Many I try to keep that one of those little tidbits of my signature somewhere on every model. I didn't do it for this one, but on the next one it's gonna be. I made a little on the ears. There's like dangly bits hanging on, and there's a little coin with that little box of fries.
Okay.
So that might become a button later, for example, or something like that. Yeah. It's just a little like Easter egg that you can like find on all of the ones there.
And an identifiable marking that lets you know it was made by Frajs. Yeah. So I have a couple more questions for you, and then we'll be moving into the post content in just a little bit. So, my first question is, where would you like to be? Where would you like to be in 2 years?
Oh, in 2 years, I would hope to be, hopefully, judging by what I'm doing right now, I would hopefully be one of the more renowned creators in the community. And I would still be healthy, probably more healthy than I am today, hopefully. And then maybe I run across someone that I really like. Who knows? That would have been really nice. Because we touched on the relationship thing. That would probably be nice, but yeah, I don't have like super high aspirations. Like my job is already fine, my real life job. And for me, my job is just a means to get money.
Correct. Yeah.
Even if it gets boring sometimes. I don't really like aspire to become like a super rich kind of person. As long as I have enough money and a little bit more than that to survive and be comfortable, that's like top notch, because that lets me relax and do things that I truly enjoy. Well, yeah. And that goes into like avatars and VRChat in general.
Yeah.
I would like to know more people, but yeah, that's a slow process.
Well, now you know me, so I don't know if that's good or bad, but now you know me, so hey.
Yeah,
So
we'll see what time.
oh yeah, for sure, for sure. I'll do my best to continue to make a good impression. I'll do what I can. Yeah. And last question for the people tuning in. What would you like to say to viewers who may be curious about VR chat or avatar creation, or just anything that we talked about? What would you like to say to them? What words would you like to leave the viewers with regards to who you are and what you've accomplished and what you hope to accomplish here and creatively in VR chat and just socially here, your experiences that you've had.
Start small. Don't start too ambitious. It's just gonna burn you out. Start picking apart small things, and then you build it up over time. This stuff looks very simple, but you're using tools that actual professionals use. Or creating games and stuff. These are not simple stuff. It really isn't. So start small, do small things, and then move outwards as you gain more knowledge. That is probably the best way to begin doing things, and then eventually you'll know all the things you need to know because you do the things you want to do. As long as you can like compose yourself, just like don't try to make everything from scratch, right? I can't even make everything from scratch, and I've been doing this for 3 years. So yeah, start small and then build yourself upwards.
All right. Well, thank you for those parting words to our viewers. I appreciate that. Thank you. And of course, where can the people find you?
That would either be on jinxie.com/CrunchyFrajs, or it would be gumroad.com/CrunchyFrajs. So either one of those is preferable to go on Jinxie because it's more creator friendly. But of course, you can always choose what you want to pick up some of my things or take a look at my Discord and see my work in progress and stuff. I post pretty fairly often, actually, more than most creators, because I share a lot of what I do. So feel free to come and take a look. I welcome everyone to check it out, and I have a pretty active community. They're all gremlins, but that's how it is. As
yeah,
there's a community of chaos. That's basically what it is, and I'm kind of just adapted to it. I love them all, though. It's great.
Hell yeah. Any socials that you want to point out to, or just your creator sites?
I was gonna say Twitter, but x.com/CrunchyFrajs.
Okay.
Or at CrunchyFrajs, I think.
Yeah.
I think that's also works. Yeah. It should be CrunchyFrajs and like all the socials and stuff, except for Discord. I'm just Frajs.
Gotcha.
So yeah.
All right.
Mm.
Okay. Thanks for letting the people know. And as for me, where you guys can find me, if you're watching on Twitch right now, congratulations, you're already here. But if you're watching on YouTube right now, you can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/Nefertiti with 2 eyes. You can also find me on Twitter, x.com/Nefertiti, also with 2 eyes. And on YouTube, hello YouTube viewers, you guys, if you're watching from Twitch right now, you can find me on YouTube at Nefertiti with 1 eye. And you can also find the Twitter for the podcast at Sweet Talking Pod. At Sweet Talking Pod. You can find information about past and upcoming guests there. You can obviously join my Discord, which, there'll be links for that elsewhere on my websites and such. But if you want to keep up with what's going on, you can definitely find me there. And of course, if you'd like to support the work that I'm doing here, if you'd like to see me do more with the podcast and more with the content that I'm creating on Twitch as well as on YouTube, I would really, truly appreciate your support on Patreon at patreon.com/Nefertiti. I would sincerely appreciate that. There's you can basically become a subscriber for starting at just $1. So if that's something you're interested in, please do check that out. I'd really, really appreciate that. There are some really interesting rewards there. If you'd like to, if some of them may appeal to you, some of them will not. But there are some new changes coming to the Patreon that by the time this comes out, hopefully will already be enacted. So, those of you who are watching this live, I encourage you to take a look at that, and maybe there's something there that you will enjoy. But in the meantime, I just want to thank you all for your support, and I also want to let you all know, those of you who are watching live right now, that we've essentially reached the end of the podcast. So we're gonna say goodbye to Frajs on the YouTube side of things. But if you'd like to see what we're going to be doing in the post content, we're going to be hanging out with Frajs for a little bit longer, asking a couple of additional questions, a couple of hard-hitting questions that will only be available on my Patreon, actually. So that's one of the rewards, one of the perks that you get from joining the Patreon. You get to watch this and other post podcast content there. It's all accessible for you there. So if that's interesting for you, do consider subscribing to the Patreon, as well as subscribing on Twitch if you so choose. Every little bit helps. Of course, do please like, subscribe, leave a comment if something that we talked about tonight resonated with you. I'd really love to hear what you have to say. So, with that out of the way, Frajs, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I really do appreciate it. I felt like there are actually things that I left out that I'm probably going to ask you about on the post content, because we straight up ran out of time, and I feel like I could just keep talking here. Those 3 hours just kind of flew. That was 3 hours.
It's been 3 hours?
It's been 3 hours. So we had a really fantastic, really lively conversation, and there's things that I had to leave out because of time. But thank you so much. It's been a pleasure getting to know you and learning more about you. Yeah.
Thank you. It was really nice to come here too.
Yeah, I'm glad.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's definitely my pleasure. It's I'm certainly happy that I was able to get you on and we were able to work this out. Despite Norwegian and EST time zones being quite an issue, we were able.
Yeah.
I'm glad we were able to make that work. So thank you so much for that. Yeah.
You're welcome. It's about five in the morning for me right now. So it's getting kind of late.
Yeah, I know.
That's okay.
Okay. Yeah. So thank you so much. We're gonna go ahead and jump into the post content, but for those of you who are watching on YouTube, thank you so much for supporting the podcast. I really do appreciate your support. Again, please like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate that. Every little bit of support really does help in the algorithm, and it really does encourage me to continue doing what I'm doing here, creating a quality podcast for you all to enjoy. So please do that, and I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. So until then, I'll see you all next time. Be kind to each other. Be kind to yourselves. You never know who may be going through something serious. And until next time, I'll see you in the next episode or in some other future content that I release on YouTube. That'd be really cool. Yeah. So until then, I'll see you all next time. Thank you again, CrunchyFrajs. And
You're welcome.
yeah, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye. This is being filmed in early May of 2024.